Hello everyone. Sorry for the tardiness of this Dvar Torah, but we'll be speaking on Parashat Reeh. That is tomorrow's parasha, and let's launch right into it. So this is based off of, I often quote Rabbi Emmanuel Bernstein of Beit V'kan. He was one of my Rebbeim in Machon Yaakov. So his father was also a Rav. He was actually an Irish Rav, amazingly. They eventually moved to London, which is where my Rabbi Bernstein Jr. was raised. And there's his father, Rabbi Isaac Bernstein, his Zatzal, who was actually a renowned orator in London. He gave famous Chumash Shiurim, so I'll actually be sharing some of the insights I heard from him online. It's really geschmack, it's really great, so enjoy. This is all Rabbi Bernstein based this whole part of his shir on the Or HaChaim HaKadosh. He was a Sephardi commentator, I think in North Africa, about 300 years ago, if I'm correct. So he wrote a famous Parush on the Torah. So let's enjoy. So this is all going on the very first pasuk of the parsha, which says, "Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha u'klala." See, I present before you today a blessing and a curse. So the Or HaChaim HaKadosh has a slew of kashas right at the beginning, 3 to be particular. So the first question is, why does it say Re'eh anochi, right? See before you. Moshe is speaking to Bnei Israel, which is most of Chumash Dvarim, and why Re'eh? After all, what would be more appropriate? Moshe is speaking to Bnei Israel. Don't say Re'eh. This isn't a visual presentation. He's speaking to them. So why doesn't he say Shma Anochi Noten Lifnechem? Right? Listen or hear. That would have been much more appropriate. Instead, he says Re'eh. Why? That's question 1. Question 2. Why the Anochi? That's a very emphatic way of saying me. Why not just say ani? Re'eh, ani noten lifnechem hayom bracha u'klala. Right? I in the ani. So why is Moshe saying anochi? Why that like extra oomph in the presentation of himself? That's the second kasha. Again, so first kasha is, why are we saying Re'eh and not Shma? And the second kasha is, why does the pasuk say anochi? Why does Moshe say anochi and not just ani? Fine. The third kasha, the third question, is why do we go from Re'eh, which is the singular, to Lifnechem, which is the plural? If you're going to say in the singular, let's stick to the singular. If you want to go to the plural, then start with the plural as well. You could say Re'u and Lifnechem, or Re'eh and Lefanecha. So why the switch? Fine. So to this, the Or HaChaim explains, just to get off the bat, we need to understand, like, what's Moshe saying? When he says, Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha u'klala, what's the message that Moshe is trying to give over here? He's trying to encourage Bnei Israel to pursue activities that would bring them closer to Olam Haba. That's where you should be directing your attention, and minimize the activities that present an overindulgence in Olam Hazeh. So go for Olam Haba. Stay away from Olam Hazeh, or rather stay away from an overindulgence, from being too involved in Olam Hazeh. Whatever actions or that tie you into this world, avoid those. That's what Moshe is saying. So the Or HaChaim explains, the reason why Moshe speaks this way is because of the following. Let's say a person were to hear such a message. Stay away from Olam Hazeh, go to Olam Haba. What's the first thing that person could say to such a person? How do you know that it's worthwhile pursuing Olam Haba? Right? Moshe is saying that Olam Haba is much more pleasurable in this world. So the first question to ask is, well, how do you know? Have you experienced Olam Haba? Do you know Olam Haba? Are you intimately familiar with Olam Haba? If you aren't, then take a hike. I don't need to listen to you. Right? So the first thing we need to see is that the person speaking has an intimate, a consummate knowledge of what Olam Haba is actually like. Is it really that great? If you can say from first-hand experience, from your absolute certain knowledge, then great, and we'll hear you out. And there's a second question. Let's say this person does have an intimate knowledge of Olam Haba, and that the great pleasures to be awaited that are awaiting us there. What if he has no knowledge of this world? Okay, great. So you know option B. What about option A? You forgot the first option, right? After all, right now in Olam Hazeh, and you have a lot of knowledge about Olam Haba, but if you've never experienced Olam Hazeh, then you have no right to tell me that Olam Haba is better than Olam Hazeh. You have nothing to compare it to. You're just basing it off your experience, which is great, but I have another experience, And I'm saying that Olam Hazeh is great. After all, if someone has never experienced the delights of this world, he's not authorized to speak about them. So you need to have, again, a consummate knowledge of Olam Hazeh as well. And that, says the Or HaChaim, is why Moshe presents his teaching in this way. Re'eh Anochi, what are they looking at? What is Bnei Israel saying? He's like, Re'eh, look at me. Look at me. Why? Because Moshe was a king. He was the wealthiest of the wealthy. He had everything at his command and his control. And he also went up to the heavens when he went to receive the Torah. So he has an intimate knowledge of Olam Hazeh, because he was a king, and he also has an intimate knowledge of Olam Haba. He knows exactly what that's like, because he went up there to receive the Torah. And that's why he says, Re'eh, see, look at me, Anochi, I am a perfect example of this kind of knowledge. I'm the only person who's qualified to speak about both worlds, and I'm telling you, the actions to pursue are ones that bring us to Olam Haba, that make us more intimately involved in Olam Haba, and those that and our Olam Hazeh actions need to be those that take us away from overindulgence in this world. Fine, so that answers the first two questions. What about the third? Right? It says Re'eh Anochi Noten Lifnechem. So why is Re'eh in the singular and why is Lifnechem in the plural? Says the Or HaChaim HaKadosh. That's because it's a fairly simple answer. Because Moshe says Re'eh because he's addressing people in the singular that there aren't many viewpoints like to see here. That really there's this is addressed to all of Klal Yisrael. I think I'm getting this more or less correct. Sorry, I may not saying exactly how the Or HaChaim explained it, but I believe this is how Rabbi Isaac Bernstein explained, was that this is a message that could be heard from the most, the Lifnechem part is something that can be heard from the most common folk to the wealthiest or the wisest person who could appreciate Moshe's singularity, which is why they're his singular ability to discuss both worlds, because he was the only person who's capable of discussing both. So we see all the questions have been solved according to the sheet of the Or HaChaim HaKadosh as given over by Rabbi Isaac Bernstein. Again, Moshe was singular in his ability to speak about Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. He was a king, but he also went up to receive the Torah. That's why he says, Re'eh, look at me, Anochi, because I'm qualified. And the shift from the singular to the plural is because everyone recognized that Moshe was the only person who was qualified to speak about this. Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom.